Ladies and gentlemen, we've seen some very positive price action on Bitcoin. In yesterday's video, I mentioned this bullish pennant formation. I mentioned the fact it was highly likely to break to the upside due to the fact that it was consolidating on the 63.5k support zone. And we did that within about 3 or 4 hours of the video being posted. We blasted right to the upside. So a correct prediction there. Now the question is, well, what do we do from here, right? Because we're testing another key level. Do we reject from this key level and go downwards? Or is Bitcoin just looking strong in general to continue back to the upside fully and recover to new all-time highs? That's one of the questions. The other question is, and this is a more direct question, a question that might be more relevant to you, when should you reaccumulate, right? Should you be reaccumulating here? Now, I actually mentioned down at 63.5k, when we got above that level, that would be a buying zone. But where is the next buying zone? Specifically for altcoins, because we never sold Bitcoin. I never sold Bitcoin. I did de-risk on many of my altcoin holdings. And I have started gradually buying those altcoin holdings back, but I'm not fully convinced yet that the altcoin market is completely out of danger. I'm also not convinced yet that we have seen the definitive start of that altcoin season. I think it will be starting very, very shortly though. So there's a lot to discuss on that topic as well. But overall, a general market update and also asking the questions, where should we buy? And looking into some of the persistent abnormalities of this move between S&P and Bitcoin correlation, also some threats in the future to look at. So just a broad analysis here. There's a lot to discuss. Before we get into it, let's check out some exchanges. We've got the Bitfinex and BingX exchanges, right? So Bitfinex and BingX, both global non-KYC, both have never been hacked before, so they're historically very safe. And with my referral links down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount for life, as well as access to a reward of 5,500 USDT. You can read it in the writing there on Bitfinex and 4,000 on BingX. A chance to win that reward with my referral links down below. Click on those links and sign up. Takes 30 seconds. Check it out. All right, let's get into it. Now, we can probably power through this content quite quickly, and that's what I'm going to try to do. I'll save you the time. I'll just get the key information out. So what have we done? Again, we've broken above a bullish pennant formation after consolidating on 63.4k. Excellent news. But we've always known that this range, this entire price range, has been comprised of 3 significant levels, okay? The bottom level in green, of course, being 61k. The mid level being between 66 and 67k. That's the level we're testing now. It's the middle of the range. And then the upper level is not actually the all-time high. The all-time high was a deviation, as you can see. The upper level is between around 71 and 72,000. Now, ever since the maturity of this range, which means ever since we tested that upper level and tested the bottom level, which is range maturity, because you form both the top and bottom of the range, the mid-level has acted as a massive degree of importance. So you can see, for example, from April 12th, when we dropped into this inverted head and shoulders pattern with a retest of 57k, which at the time was subject to a retest of the bull market support band, a very important level, we were actually holding this mid-range level as resistance the entire time. When we finally got above that mid-range level, we double topped on the upper part of the range, again holding the mid-range level for support that entire time. So throughout April all the way through to May and entering mid-June, the mid-range level was actually probably the most, impactful level on Bitcoin's price action. And so the fact that we're testing that again is of a major degree of importance. Do we reject here, come back down for a bottom, and then come back up and breach it? Do we go straight through? Do we meet somewhere in the middle, go back down to 63.5k and then breach it? Regardless of what we do, I think we will breach it. I think we are destined to go upwards here. That is my personal opinion. I think this range will break, and I think we will go to new all-time highs. As for which scenario is more likely, I don't think it is very likely that we go all the way down to the bottom of the range again. I actually also think it's quite unlikely that we go much of the way down to the bottom. I think for the most part, we have formed a higher low here. It would make sense to see a little drop, perhaps more consolidation, then breach the upside. I've also heard a lot of theories that we could see some sort of slanted upwards inverted head and shoulders pattern. That seems like a possibility as well. Overall, I think Bitcoin's in a good position. I can't give you much clarity on the very short term. I did that yesterday, and that clarity has already resulted in a move upwards here. We haven't seen significant price development. I can't really make any further predictions. There's no patterns forming. But what I can say is that Bitcoin is looking good in general. Although I will say very clearly that, this is not a time to buy. I mean, this is regardless of how good Bitcoin's looking, this is a resistance zone. You don't buy at resistance. That's not what you do. You wait for it to break. And speaking of when you should buy, I'm going to get into that in literally 30 seconds here. I just want to cover a couple more things. Not only did we break up from the pennant, we also held the 200 SMA for support, which is great news. We did the exact same thing on the total cryptocurrency market cap chart. Again, total cryptocurrency market cap moving upwards from a wedge, just like Bitcoin, moving upwards from below the bottom of the range, just like Bitcoin. And then flipping that 200 SMA for support as well as a horizontal level, just like Bitcoin, and now testing a resistance zone, just like Bitcoin. So it's good to see the markets lining up here and being synchronized. That always leads to simpler market environments and healthy market environments in general. Now that we've kind of understood that, we can move onwards to, where we should actually be buying. Where are buying zones right now? And where are selling zones, right? Because there's obviously a chance that we're wrong. And if we are wrong, we need to be able to sell at the appropriate time to not lose a crap ton of money. And this is exactly what we did for Total 3 a few weeks ago, right? We identified an invalidation zone, we sold at that invalidation zone occurrence, and we avoided a significant correction. Yes, realistically, if we held, we would be back in profit. But the point is with altcoins is you can't just hold blindly, because altcoins will drop 30% in a week if you don't sell at the right time. It's not a good strategy. So I think the question for altcoins now is, well, are altcoins in a decent position again? Can we buy altcoins again? Now, full transparency, I have been buying altcoins in I guess moderate amounts, but I'm not fully buying back into the altcoin market yet for a couple of reasons. Reason one is that we're still in a Bitcoin dominant environment. It's not an altcoin season yet. Although, as I've made very clear in my altcoin videos as of recent, I think an altcoin season is coming on the next leg. I've always thought that. My opinions on the altcoin season has not changed. On the next leg, we will see an altcoin season. The reason I've been saying it for so long and nothing's happened is because we haven't seen the next leg, right? We've had our current all-time high since March. So we haven't seen the next leg yet. The next leg occurs when we break the all-time high and actually enter the next leg. So I think we'll see an altcoin season on the next leg. And my opinion on that is exactly the same. I believe that for various reasons, one of which is the 5-step pattern, which you can see on the screen, where you're on step 4 of that 5-step pattern. When the 5th step occurs, we see Bitcoin dominance drop. That's what happened historically. That's what we can expect to happen again. But so that's one reason why I'm not really too interested in alts right now. The other reason is because altcoins are still at very major resistance levels, such as, again, bull market support band. It hasn't closed above the bull market support band yet. It hasn't closed above price cycle center lines yet. These are, and as a matter of fact, it's actively testing the price cycle center line for resistance. So, we just need to go a little bit higher for altcoins in order for me to justify thinking they're actually out of the woods yet. For right now, it's actually a bit of a threat, to be quite honest with you. So I don't think altcoins are in the perfect position yet. Again, you can buy high risk positions and have stop losses or be ready to take losses if the market does go back down. But if you're looking for a confident buy where you can be secure in your buying, now in my opinion is not the time. You want to be waiting a little bit longer. And I don't think you're going to be missing out on much, right? Provided you're holding Bitcoin, which you should be. It's not like you're missing out on anything. The altcoin season hasn't begun yet. So Bitcoin is still leading the market and outperforming altcoins on a generalized scale. We originally bought altcoins on this YouTube channel back in October, November. And it's good to see we saw massive gains regardless. So now I'm ready for... I'm interested to see when the next buy will occur. I'm interested to see what will happen next here. Again, altcoins in general and the Bitcoin dominance charts are coming to a point of decision. They're going to have to make a decision very, very shortly. And this is one of the reasons I'm quite confident that Bitcoin will be moving on the next leg quite shortly as well, because altcoins don't have much room to move, right? Bitcoin dominance is showing a precise consolidation ending around the early September region. So sometime in maybe even this month, but most likely in August, we will be seeing the next leg begin. And if, it's quite a mixed I have mixed feelings about that. On one hand, I want to be seeing more consolidation so that we can fully get back in line with the 4-year cycle. On the other hand, I want to see a regular altcoin season on a structural basis, which would occur if we see the market swing upwards in August. I suppose the good news is if we move upwards in August, when we're meant to do so in September, October, as per 4-year cycle, we will be moving up early, but we have time to take breaks later. It's not like this is the be-all end-all for the 4-year cycle. It's like, well, we can move up again and then the next consolidation can take longer than usual and eventually we'll get back on track fully, if that makes sense. And that's not really contextually relevant to the video, but if you've watched previous videos I've made on reconnecting with the 4-year cycle, you will understand that point. If not, you can go back and watch them. I'm not going to get into that too much now. Now, I want to discuss, now that we've gone through some of the scenarios here, the bullish price action that's occurred, when buying should take place on altcoins specifically, I want to discuss a couple of the abnormalities that are happening in the charts, right? I don't want to make this video too bullish. There are some abnormalities here. and they're kind of unsettling. One of them is the S&P 500 Bitcoin correlation. Now, S&P 500 and Bitcoin are very closely correlated. They have been for years. They have been since 2020, actually. And you can see right now this correlation. One of the reasons why, let me just start with saying this, one of the reasons why the drop caught us so off guard, and analysts as a whole so off guard below 61K, is because, look, everyone in hindsight wants to act like, oh, we saw it coming. They didn't, right? No one saw that coming. That was unpredictable by all conventional means of TA, because all the levels that have historically held every single time in Bitcoin cycle at this part of the bull market broke, right? Bull market support band price cycle center lines, they broke. They never have broken before at this time of the bull market. It's absolutely unheard of. And seeing a break below a structural horizontal level during this part of the bull market is unheard of, right? So it's explainable in hindsight by the fact that we were overvalued after ETFs, but it's not like that was a predictable scenario. It simply wasn't. It was a deviation outside of predictability. And one of the reasons the deviation occurred is the fact that Bitcoin was so heavily decorrelated to traditional markets, right? Again, let me say it again. Bitcoin and traditional markets work together. They move together. Look at Bitcoin's price action in orange overlaid with the S&P. It always happens together. They always move together. And then you look at the last 2 months and you see a complete decorrelation. In fact, not only a decorrelation, a reverse correlation. Bitcoin tanking, right? Massively, with altcoins dropping 60%, right? The total 3 only dropped 30-something%, but altcoins in general, I mean, a lot of the altcoins in the top 100 have broken below bear market lows, and the S&P continues blasting to new all-time highs. And now we see a situation where the S&P takes correction, and Bitcoin's pumped up from 53K. And it's like, well, what the hell is going on here? And the answer is, we don't know. Something weird's still happening, right? The weird thing that caused Bitcoin to drop down below a level it wasn't meant to drop down below is still occurring. Okay, so it is quite concerning to see that keep happening. I'll be watching that very, very closely. And that is one of the reasons, again, why I'm not like super jumping on like the buy now bandwagon, because I understand that just because the price has gone up doesn't mean the abnormalities have gone away. The abnormalities are still here. So keep an eye out for that, definitely. And another thing is USDT dominance. Obviously, when this chart goes upwards, it means that USDT is gaining dominance, which means people are selling crypto for USDT. So it's bearish, and when it goes down, it's bullish. And right now, we are in a fine position, but eventually we are going to come back down to retest this major ascending support line, and that is going to be a place where this chart is likely, or not likely, but subject to bouncing, meaning the market is in danger. So when that occurs, we will be watching it very closely, but that's something we'll look into a bit later. Perhaps I didn't need to bring that up in this video. But guys, that's what I'm going to say today. I think the market's looking good. I don't necessarily think we're totally out of the woods yet, especially on altcoins. I don't necessarily think you should be too concerned about rushing into altcoins right here. I think waiting a little bit more might be the right move, or taking smaller buys. I don't think the altcoin season has started right now as of yet. It will start on the next leg, in my opinion, but that next leg, of course, has not occurred yet. So it's good to see, as a whole, the market recovering, but there are still some persistent concerns here, especially with the S&P 500 Bitcoin correlation. Guys, with that said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Again, go ahead and check out our exchanges. 15% trading fee discount with the link down below. But then go ahead and check out our VIP group on Telegram. This is where we trade altcoins. I post altcoin trading signals 4 times a week with a historical win rate of 78.3% on all of my signals. And I've been posting for 21 months, I believe. So it's a very good win rate over a very long sample pool of data. You also get access to a group chat included in that membership as a bonus, and a group chat's incredibly useful. If you don't know what's going on for market, if you're stressed, if you're panicking, you can type in that group chat, ask questions, whatever, post charts and share your ideas with other VIP members, and you're getting some good insights in there. So check out the membership if you're interested. And then finally, the Crypto Academy's Become a Trader 10-unit course is on sale. This will teach you everything you need to know about trading in a structured university-style format. You can read up about it on the website, and you can also throw us an email. Our email address, again, is on the website if you're interested in making a purchase and learning how to trade via that course. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you soon.